Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another CW webinar. I am Juliana, and this time I will bring you the main highlights of our Weitzman report 2021 update. So next slide, please. So on today's agenda, I will share some information about today's presenters and give you an introduction first of our company, what is that we do, and what we have to offer, and give you some insights of what you can find in our Weitzman report. Also, after this brief introduction, I will move on to our report highlights, focusing on the macroeconomic outlook, give you a sneak peek of our capacity study, and a review of supply-demand partners, trade, and of course, the answer of today's question, that is, how will the white cement market evolve over the next 5 years? So for today's presentation, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Juliana Vieira, business analyst at CW Group. I'm the lead analyst of this report, and as well as Wanderson Teixeira, junior business analyst at CW, who also worked with me on this update. Both of us are based in Porto, Portugal. Next slide. Now I will give you a brief introduction of our company. So CW Group is present across 3 distinct verticals, advisory, research, and media. Under the advisory, CW works with major global consultancies and leading institutions on projects. This includes World Bank and funds. We also provide consulting on advisory expertise on a diverse product portfolio. For example, a recent sample of advisory projects provided include a complete business process analysis for an online art gallery website. Also, we had a detailed visibility study for Middle Eastern petrochemical company for the manufacture of a specific chemical compound. And just recently, an advisory engagement for a defense contractor that was looking to enter into secondary explosive manufacturing. Now, under the research umbrella, CW focus on cement demand globally, as well as detailed industry and country reports. We provide historical as well as forecast for markets in a variety of products. And this includes one of our main products, that is the TPR, that we call Trade Price Report, and the VFR, that is the Volume Forecast Report. Also, under the research, we provide commodity price assessments for cement, clinker, pet coke, and coal. Now, at last but not least, we have the media umbrella. So you can have some online access to our vast database, and you also can subscribe to newsletter for topics of your interest. And we also have some industry-specific meetings, which of course due to COVID are happening online. But as soon as possible, we will be back to be in person. Next slide. Now here in this slide, to provide you a better understanding of what you can expect of the CW Global White Cement Market and Trade Report. So we cover consumption and production figures, also import and export data, and as well as pricing trends and white cement capacity development. As per CW standard, we also provide a 5-year forecast of consumption numbers. And in this case, for this update, is into 2026. So to find out more about the report, I would invite you to visit our website that have more information. Now, moving on to the highlights of this report. Next. So here we are going to present an overview of the global economic outlook, so we can start off. So after an estimated contraction of 3.3% in 2020, according to the IMF, the global economy is projected to grow at a 6% in 2021. The contraction for 2020 was 1.1 percentage points smaller than was projected in the IMF's October release. This reflected the higher than expected growth outturns in the second half of the year for most regions after restriction measures were lifted and as economies adapted to new ways of working. So the global economic outlook for 2021 is more optimistic. The projection for 2021 is 0.8 percentage points stronger than was in the October 2020 IMF release, as fiscal support has been put in place in larger economies, and the countries started to vaccinate its population also in the beginning of the year, right? But however, emerging market economies and low-income developing countries have been hit harder and are expected to suffer more significant medium-term losses. The strength of the project recovery varies across countries, depending on the severity of the health crisis, the extent of domestic disruptions to activity, the exposure to cross-border spillovers, and the most important, the effectiveness of the policy support to limit persistent damage. Also, with the vaccine rollout, the economic scenario in most countries is expected to improve. However, an increase of new COVID cases poses challenges to economies like India and Brazil. In India, for example, although IMF's projection estimated GDP growth of more than 12%, a new wave of COVID cases have been hitting hard the country. Yesterday, for example, April 28th, there were more than 379,000 new cases, with the last 7 days average of more than 349,000 cases. Now, jumping into the report, the white cement report, I'll be providing some insights on the current market situation, but of course the report includes a much more detailed analysis on what is happening and what to expect in the next 5 years for the white cement market. So in terms of cement capacity, in the next 5 years is expected to see an addition of 4 million tons, with Western Europe and CIS being the region with most capacity additions during this period. And the total white cement capacity is estimated to reach around 38 million tons in 2026, having China accounting for almost 30% of the total capacity. Western Europe and CIS region is set to have an increase at a CAGR of more than 8% in white cement capacity, followed by North America. Turkey and Russia are expected to have the biggest capacity additions from 21 to 26, and Simple Cement in Turkey announced on February 2021 a great white cement conversion project estimated to be concluded in 2022 with an estimated white cement capacity of 1.6 million tons. Nevertheless, Western Europe is estimated to see a reduction in its capacity in the forecast period at a CAGR of more than 1%. In November 2020, Heidelberg Cement announced a change in its operations. Crues plant in France for instance, due to vaccine activities, is expected to shut down in 2022. Now in this slide, we can see the top 10 white cements companies for 2021. So Cementing Holdings, Cinsa, and LafargeHolcim remain the largest white cement producers globally. They are accounting for an estimated of 20% of the total white cement capacity for 2021. Cementi is the biggest plant. Cementi biggest plant in Egypt has the capacity of 1.1 million tons per year. And Cinsa, that is established itself as the second largest white cement producer in the world. The two biggest capacity plants are located in Turkey and in Spain. The Cinsa plant in Spain, named Buñol, acquired in 2019 from Cemex, has the capacity of 0.7 million tons per year. Also, LafargeHolcim is estimated to be the third largest white cement producer globally, and the two biggest white cement plants in terms of capacity are located in Algeria and France. Now, I'm going to pass this presentation to my colleague, Wanderson Teixeira. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Juliana. Hello, everyone. Now I'm going to start to present the global white cement production. Globally, the white cement production remains stable with a slight growth of 0.1% during the period of 2016 and 2021. North America showed the biggest increase during this period by a CAGR of more than 3%, and the second largest growth was registered in Eastern Europe and CIS region. US is expected to have an increase in production to reach almost 300,000 tons in 2021, while in Eastern Europe and CIS, Turkey is said to have the biggest increase in terms of production. However, Latin America and Africa were the regions that had the largest drop in white cement production by an estimated negative CAGR of 4 and 3% respectively. For example, Mexico, one of the largest producers in Latin America, is said to have a decline in production of almost 0.5% from 2016 to 21, while in Africa, Tunisia is estimated to witness a decline of more than 7% in the same period. Now, when we turn to the global white cement trade in 2021, CW estimates that the global trade prices, both FOB and CIF, are expected to see a slight increase this year. Given the estimated slight growth in global production, this fact emphasizes that the global white cement market is estimated to have a recovery from 2020 levels, which were highly impacted by the pandemic. In 2021, at a global level, Eastern Europe and CIS is set to emerge as the largest exporter of white cement, displacing Western Europe, which is now the second largest exporting region. The region is projected to ship more than 1 million tons of white cement this year, and Turkey is expected to account for more than 85% of the total shipments in the region. North America is expected to remain one of the largest import destinations for white cement in 2021, followed by Middle East, Western Europe, and Eastern Europe and CIS. Western Europe white cement imports are estimated to be fulfilled from intra-regional trade. Now, moving on to the white cement consumption. Globally, white cement consumption in 2020 saw a decline of almost 6%. This was mostly due to the pandemic impact on the economies, which reduced the use of white cement in constructions. However, in 2021, consumption is expected to see a recovery from last year, and this recovery is said to be of more than 2%, which will put 2020 levels close to 2016 levels. China, it's one of the regions that, even with the impact of the pandemic on white cement, was one of the regions that witnessed a stable consumption level in 2020. And in 2021 is expected to see an increase of more than 0.5%. Now, when we compare 2016 to 2021 period, we see that amongst the regions, Africa is expected to witness the biggest decline in white cement consumption, while North America is said to have the biggest increase in terms of consumption at a CAGR of more than 4%. In the meantime, the Eastern Europe and CIS region is said to remain stable. In this next slide, we have a more detailed analysis of the white cement consumption, and we can see that North America, Asia ex-China are established growth centers for white cement demand, and in 2021 they are expected to contribute around 8 and 14% of the total demand, while both having growth at a CAGR of more than 4 and 1% from 2016 to 2021. The Middle East, which accounted for a little over 17% of global demand in 2016, is now expected to account close to 16% in 21, which we can see here that represents a 1% decline from 2016 levels. China, in absolute terms, is and will remain the elephant in the room, accounting for close to 36% of the global demand in 2021, at a CAGR of around 1% from 2016 to 21. In the Middle East, a region that has always been with great potential for white cement demand, unfortunately has been experiencing some challenging times over the past few years. This is primarily a result of the crude prices, which was further impacted last year. And of course, this has negatively impacted the region white cement demand. In our next slide, we have white cement consumption forecast. Globally, we see that white cement demand will likely increase more than 1% from 21 to 2026 as major economies recover from the pandemic. This, of course, boosted by the vaccine rollout and also fiscal policy stimulus that have been adopted by major countries. Eastern Europe is estimated to have the biggest increase at a CAGR of 3%, with Turkey and Russia remaining the largest white cement consumers in the region. The Middle East is estimated to have the smallest growth in consumption to reach almost 3 million tons in 2026. And China, as discussed before, continues to be one of the regions to have a sustained growth rate. This has been seen from 2016 to 2021 and is expected to continue from 21 to 2026, which poses China as one of the few regions that has been having a sustained growth during the past 5 years and is going to continue in the next 5 years. Now, I would like to leave you with the closing remarks of our report. Please note that we only focused here on the highlights of this update, and more detailed information can be found in our report. Please don't hesitate to contact us so we can help you. The white cement market was heavily affected by the economic downturn caused by the pandemic. Minimal capacity additions for the forecast period are likely to be seen and therefore lead to higher utilization rates. In terms of white cement producers, we see that cementitious, Simsa, and Lafarge Holcim are estimated to account for a quarter of the global white cement capacity, remaining the largest cement producers. Eastern Europe and CIS region is expected to remain a net importer despite of the additional capacities in the forecast period. And to finalize, the global demand is expected to have a recovery at a CAGR of 1% in 2026. This is, of course, reflected by sustained growth in Asia ex-China, Latin America, and North America. Well, I would like to thank you for your time and attention, and we'll see you on our next webinar.